I'm Tom Long, author of the new book, A Small State's Guide to Influence in World Politics, published by Oxford University Press in the Bridging the Gap series. I want to start by tackling the infamous "so what" question. Should international relations care about small states? IR scholars have often said, well, no, not really. That's evident in the focus of a lot of IR theory, but it's also at times been stated quite explicitly. For example, and I quote, "It would be ridiculous to construct a theory of international politics based on Malaysia and Costa Rica. A general theory of international politics is necessarily based on the great powers." Those words come from none other than the great Kenneth Waltz in his masterwork, Theory of International Politics. So, is Waltz right? Is it ridiculous to theorize about international relations based on the experiences of small states? Now, granted, I have something of a vested interest in the answer to that question, but instead of ridiculous, I would say it's essential. In fact, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why IR should care about small states. First, IR has a great power bias, and this is a problem. Great powers are obviously important, but they are also weird outliers, almost by definition. So the field's collection of knowledge and its base for theory building is skewed by this obsession with great powers. When we are thinking about moving beyond states as our unit of analysis to thinking about international relationships, I'd say the problem is even worse. Asymmetries characterize most relationships in world politics. For theorists, growing attention to relationalism, networks, positionality, all of these suggest the need for greater attention to asymmetry. For policymakers, it's crucial to understand that small and large states tend to see their security, their identity, and their interests very differently. Asymmetry exacerbates misperceptions, especially in how large states policymakers see their smaller counterparts. Second, policymakers care a lot about small states. Great powers spend inordinate amounts of time worrying about much smaller states. We see this today in Russia's attention and focus on its so-called near abroad. We see it looking back at history in U.S. actions in Central America and the Caribbean. Moving from states to international organizations, there we also see international officials dedicating lots of time to engaging with small states, as Jack Corbett and his co-authors have recently shown. Third, small states have been called a canary in the coal mine. This is really true for small states and small island states in the threat of climate change, but it's also true if we're thinking about international order. A lot of key norms in the international system protect small states. Think about sovereign equality or norms against territorial conquest. If those norms erode, international order is in trouble. But small states are in trouble first. I hope that I've convinced you that IR should care about small states, and I hope you'll take a look at my new book. It develops an explanation of when and how small states might gain influence. The book's 20 case studies include small states from across world regions. They examine how small states maneuver within their asymmetrical relationships with uneven success in pursuit of their goals.